Like a fine wine, many believe orchids hold the same bouquet as a memorable vintage.
They're absolutely beautiful. Colors could range anywhere from bright colors to very, very dark, almost somber colors. And all over this area, you're liable to run into these.
Mexico ranks in the top 10 countries where orchids grow naturally. Since most thrive in tropical climates, the Bay of Banderas has its fair share.
In the Puerto Vallarta area, there's about 250 different species of orchids. And of course, every orchid is different. Something you can say about every orchid is, this orchid is unique because.
Orchids are something you have to look for. They're kind of reclusive, especially when they're not in bloom. And so you have to look up in the trees and you have to look behind the rocks. But there's so many places. It is unbelievable where you will find the orchids.
Going above and beyond, local orchid devotees help preserve the natural species.
Yeah, rescuing orchids could be considered unusual. I go up into the hills, I find trees that have died, fallen down. I'd find trees that the owners of the property have cut down so they can use them for fence posts. The orchids that are growing up at the top of the trees are now down at ground level, where they'll get eaten or washed into a stream.
Many orchid lovers tend their plants with care and are very knowledgeable.
It's a miniature Cattleya. What you see here, 3 different colors, it's all the same plant. When they first form the buds, they're very dark purple. When those open, they're a lighter shade of lavender. A week later, they're in the more violet, light pink tones. And then just before they're finished, they turn white. They'll bloom twice a year. They'll bring in bloom in the spring and then also again in the fall. Vallarta is full of microclimates. There is places here where these thrive, and there's places here where they won't grow at all. If I was to move this 20 feet over there, it would be in full sun and it would be dead in days.
This blooming jewel is among the most highly prized ornamental plants. Believe it or not, orchids rank as one of the most smuggled items worldwide. Visitors will need a certificate for international transport to take orchids home, but according to our experts, they would probably not do too well in colder and drier climates. Unless you are planning to move to the area, you will have to admire these fascinating flowers from afar. In Puerto Vallarta, I'm Laura Galazunas. This video was made possible by these sponsors: